Safety share. I see Sean's on. You could take us off.
So we completed a couple of higher risk activities today, all in one, with the influent line delivery. We had, while it was loaded and secured onto the flatbed, we had to make entry into the tank. It was a confined space. We monitored the air with our 4-gas meter and determined it, filled out the paperwork, determined it to be non-permit required. So we made entry. We had to tighten down some flanges, I believe. There's some material stored in there. We got that done successfully, and then we also lifted and placed it, and it was a unique configuration with the tank and how we needed to set it from how it was delivered. We had to upright it. We had to use the main hook and the aux hook in tandem to lift it off the flatbed, upright it, and then place it. So the team down there, led with Brian and led with Wayne, and then Coke with the plan, did a good job. So and that was done successfully.
No, it was a good pick.
Yeah, thanks for all that, Sean.
Yep, it was a good pick.
Does anyone have any other safety shares, safety topics? So good to go. All right, we have the 3-week schedule, and we got, yeah, right, there we go.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah. We're gonna bypass all the minutia stuff. So for the construction wise, we are, the first line item is the potable water pipeline. And again, that is an activity where we just kind of need to bolt up to both ends of that tank. I believe all the ARBs are in, everything's in. That's why it's sitting at 99%, but still in our schedule right now. The underground water service for dorm area and RV area, we're continuing working on those. We have the underground drainage. I think a couple more head walls, a couple more culverts to do around the general area. But we're focused on that pipe run on the south side of the Hardside building area and the north side of the Hardside building area for the underground drainage and catch basins and whatnot.
All the good hard dig.
Yeah.
Vertical realignments.
And vertical realignments, many of them. We had to do another one yesterday as well for the fire hydrant. Yeah. So after that, the underground propane that has been completed as of Friday. All the underground distribution is done, and they're off site until we get the buildings and propane tank here, and they can just come in and hopefully 1 week just hook up to everything. That's my goal.
2 days.
2 days.
Dang girl.
So after that, we have the concrete auxiliary foundations. This was just, so we wouldn't have to break it out so much. It's just all the concrete foundations that we're doing. Yesterday, we did pour the blower pads in the wastewater treatment plant. We'll be working on the effluent pump and effluent tank shortly as well. So that's just a general item to capture all that concrete activity in there. The generator, that needs to come up soon too, so we can get that in. The effluent line, same as the potable water pipeline. This one's 95% done because we do have a couple cleanouts left to install, and just the final tank hookups, which we're waiting on a valve as well at the in town. Some equipment at the wastewater needing to be installed. The clarifier, I believe the clarifier and the
Number 3, right?
the fast zone number 3, that is in late September now. Depending on how it goes, we're just kind of letting this push week by week until it, either we get it or it becomes critical to install.
We're setting this stuff as it comes in. So. Everything that's been received to date has been set, ready to start interconnect piping and all that sort of thing. So,
electrical wise, the electricians will be getting some more guys next week. We have a lot of those RB laterals to do. There's still some conduit in the dorm areas, and of course the transformer pads and the PMS pads. We have created quite a few of those PMS pads out, and we'll talk about the transformer pads, I guess, later in this meeting. The electricians they're honestly working in all areas right now. Wastewater booster pump, propane area. I think they finished that work mostly. They will need to come back for any other activities they have in there. So
that reminded me, the one thing we will have to do is once we get released on the propane building, that'll allow us to place the pad so that we can get the conduit up and then back out and then stub up inside the building for the local power. Take that off.
Good point. That's the schedule. Any questions on it? Back to the agenda. Some constructability concerns. Well, the influent lift station, I believe we can close this one out. This is item number 2, Nicolette.
Okay.
We have our response back from Martin. And well, it's already here. So, and we said it. So this one's closed out. There'll be no issues going forward on that one. The field directive for the transformer containments. We're working on pricing those items essentially, but we got to get the concrete material here, the rebar here for those.
Let me touch on that real quick. So we're not going to let the change order hold us up. Obviously, we have to do this. So we're drafting the change order in parallel with getting the shop drawings for the rebar, getting the steel fabricated, the grates fabricated. So we'll just do those in parallel and get all of that expedited as quickly as we can, because that is probably the most critical path items that we have. So.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And now we're talking about some notes.
So that'll probably start, depending on shop lead times, as soon as 2 weeks. And that is an activity. We have 29 transformer pads that goes into next year just because there's a lot of them. And it's a different level of effort to construct them than just a flat pad.
Right.
So
When do you think that piece will be ready?
probably tomorrow. Everything else is moving forward, though. Like I said, we didn't want one to hold up the other. Okay.
Jayco, they're supposed to be coming out in the next few weeks to do some flat work, curb and gutter, and the catch basins. Since they're coming out, they had another look at the plans, and they have a revised takeoff. So there are some adjusted quantities, and they'll likely have to adjust pricing. We'll take that.
The unit price will stay the same. It's just that the quantities have gone up. They're one of the few subs that is not T&M. It's all unit price, which frankly is a good thing. So from the bid plans to the plans that were issued at C, some of those quantities were adjusted. They're doing those takeoffs now as of this morning when we spoke. We should have that, if not tomorrow, certainly by next Wednesday's meeting, what that looks like.
I don't think there's any new value add.
No.
Probably scroll through that one. Oh, engineering. So, engineering wise, we have, I apologize, the Allen Bradley control panels. We have one of those back approved or furnished as noted. One of them was resubmit, and I'm still waiting on the eFluent Allen Bradley control panel. So I don't know what was holding that one up.
It just slipped through the cracks, but they just sent it and it's a revise and resubmit.
This is bleeding off into late October and November very quickly.
Yep.
I can't emphasize enough how critical this is, that we will have equipment installed, but we will not be able to power it.
Yeah, it's understood. I'm working as hard as we can to get that approved and keep those moving forward, Peter.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
I have my vendors working.
This is I would say number 1 on my impact list of working on.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Brandon, I don't know if you heard
Yeah.
this folks add, but I got an email from Darkor for the effluent panel, and it's a revise and resubmit.
Yeah, I did hear that. I'll take a look and see what their comment was, see why it's revised and resubmit. Let's get that addressed separately. We also need to get Javier and Ujal in the room now that we have all the submittals and we're kind of looking at it going, okay, everything's feasible, everything can work. Let's just give that final blessing and move forward so we can get everything purchased and going.
I'll get it to my vendor ASAP to take a look at that. Moving on, the flow equalization valve. We have submitted this one again. I think we talked about that this morning for me for the effluent line at the wastewater in town. That valve. We submitted another one, so we just need to get
right? Clay valve.
Yep. We just need to get that one approved. What's that?
It's 90 replacing 75.
Yes, correct.
When do we think we can get that back? I don't know why I was looking at Cam on that one. Why don't you approve it, Cam?
Yeah.
What's the problem here?
You got it today? Okay.
Right now? All right. I heard right now.
Martin's usually picked up, but inside for him.
Item number 5 on the engineering was the design for the OH power and communication. This has to
I
do
think
with
I've got an easy
kind of the main access guard shack that feeds from booster pump station. Our plans show a pole that's provided by others. I don't know who others is, a power pole. It shows a line coming out of the PMS that's at the booster pump station going to that pole. So that's 15 kV power. And then it also shows a fiber line coming from a handhole or manhole in that area. But we don't know whose pole that is or what we should do there. But we do recommend just installing these lines.
Conduit.
It's on the conduit to get it there.
Yeah, I think the idea back then was to get the conduit under the ground. The pole can be by others in the future because that pole is going to go to the guard shack for the main access road, which is outside of this scope. But the main idea was to get the line under the road.
So that's kind of
I'm sorry.
recommendation. We'll get enough conduits in the ground for power and communications, get it across the road, we'll as-built it and bury it. And then whether it's Ames or someone else, they would know where these lines are relative to where their pole line's gonna be, and that way we're done with it. And it sounds like
Yeah.
we're good with that.
Yeah, it's easier to do it now than later.
We need to do a plan revision or official RFI for this one.
No.
Okay.
We'll just install the conduit.
No.
It's in the
with
meeting
manhole
minutes. It's noted in the minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if we don't have to.
Well, we're also, just to clarify, we're gonna run from the PMS through the manhole that we're gonna install.
It shows
straight
line
to it.
work.
So we're gonna move the
Not that
alignment of the line that it shows on the plan. We're gonna as-built that. But we'll install a conduit.
Yeah, we'll install this one. Conduit for,
Clarify that.
Okay, then I will not send it to Chet.
no, I don't think so.
Next item on the list is the heat tape, pipe tape, heat trace, whatever we do want to call it. I believe Ames was directed to eliminate this product. We
So-
just want to make sure.
Heat trace, heat tape are kind of they're the same thing, right? It requires a power source. Pipe wrap is just tape that's wrapped around the installation of pipe. I know in town they have heat trace, which is powered. We can do that. That's not a problem. And Parker, gosh, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago, he sent something over where you can buy it on Amazon. No big deal. We got with our subcontractor. We can modify the RV pedestals to direct wire that in. Again, not a problem. We just need to know what it is that you want. We got an email that said, no, you don't want it. Confused.
I was gonna say, back on that conversation, Chad, we talked earlier on this. I'm gonna talk to Wilbur because I had talked with him. If I remember correctly from that conversation, they just do foam insulation on those.
And that was
See,
the
that's
last
their,
issue we had.
that's at
was
the
just-
apartments.
That's
They
not
have a
even,
set up at the RVs that they're converting to. I think he sent me a picture of it.
Yeah, so that's what we're currently doing. It's foam insulation and it has pipe wrap.
Isn't that, hold on, that valve's in the ground, that's frost free, is it not?
Yeah, so
What is that?
real quick, the conversation I had with Wilbur's, he said they don't like the frost-free ones because they still freeze up. I don't know any more than that. He said that they had installed a bunch of them at the current RV park and they're actually getting rid of them as they go bad and just putting them in traditional spigots.
They don't want frost freeze and we were gonna do heat tape, so.
We don't have that spigot though. We have just the regular spigot.
That's my point. In my experience, the valve for that's 2 feet deep in the ground, so it doesn't freeze.
Mhm.
So why would you insulate that?
We don't bring water up until you hook up to it and pump it up.
Right,
Correct.
exactly. Now, in our installation, we don't have those types of valves. We just have the regular deal, in which case, yes, you want to insulate it because the exposed pipe has water in it. So it goes back to what type of insulating system do we want to use? Is it just that, which is the foam and the pipe wrap? Or do we want heat tape, in which case, different level of effort, we got to power it. We have a local power source, but again, it's something that we'll have to do, and we'll have to buy 500 of these kits.
I was understanding that we needed to do it, so I'm gonna get with Wilbur and we need to put it into this final decision. I don't know why this is still pending after, we talked about it 2 months ago.
It is a long time ago.
Thought we had a decision made.
Yeah,
I
the
thought we
email-
did too. That we weren't gonna go with that. Let me just, I believe the conclusion was, yes, we're not gonna go with the heat trace, but we're gonna go with the insulation. So let me just confirm that
That's
was
correct.
the,
And that was
that
our
was the route we're
understanding.
gonna go.
And that's
Okay,
what
I think just part of that got dropped because I think one of them communicated to me earlier where we weren't doing either. I guess that's what confused me. So let me just confirm again. It's been a couple months since I talked to Wilbur last.
okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
we don't need to do an RFI. This meeting's good enough on this as well.
Follow up.
All right, so
Okay, some procurement items. Something I looked at is the housing around the chlorine analyzer at the wastewater. For those here, right here is the chlorine analyzer. In the plans, it shows a building, with a little device that, reads and pumps the chlorine, I guess. What we submitted on was that device that got approved, and it's actually shipping here currently, that little device, but we don't have to build it for that. So,
And I think that's the only place that kind of would at least suggest that it's a building because there's a symbology of a door, right?
Yeah. And then you get a more detailed look on a detail sheet.
So I guess we need to look at the procurement package for the wastewater treatment plant, if that was included or not.
It wasn't from what we received.
It was just the chlorine analyzer itself.
Tiny house. Do you know anything about that, Courtney?
nope. Ken though is on the phone,
I don't think it's critical to operation, but yeah, if we need to install
No.
it, we want to get it going.
but Ken might know if that was in Smith and Lovelace's package deal.
Okay.
Ken, do you know about that building for the chlorine analyzer?
Yes, and I'm guilty. So
Okay, that's not
no,
something
the building holds the chlorinator equipment that delivers the chlorine to the static mixer. The chlorine analyzer, of course, is mounted over the chlorine contact tank to measure the residual chlorine, which sends a signal back to the pump inside that building with that control loop that tells how much chlorine to feed. However, the reason for the recent change was we weren't sure of what we would need for that chlorine analyzer for various reasons, because of the instrumentation at the time wasn't clear from both manufacturers. So the chlorine analyzer that's mounted on that board, we ended up having to, after we got the shop drawings, to add another device that measures the chlorine, that measures the flow that the chlorine analyzer measures, and that board got bigger and bigger. So I issued that field directive that showed the bigger board for mounting the chlorine analyzer and the additional equipment needed to measure the flow in the chlorine analyzer. I hope that makes some sense.
That include the building for it, the
Pardon me?
housing? Does that field directive include the housing for it?
Yes, yes.
Field
Yeah.
directive for the booster pump station included housing,
Yes, it did.
but not the one at the wastewater.
Correct.
I don't
Yes.
believe.
Because what was in the original plans was the chlorine analyzer, which was in its own cabinet. But like I said, now there was some ancillary equipment the manufacturer of the analyzer needed to run the analyzer that did not fit inside the chlorine analyzer. So I just made a bigger enclosure to incorporate all that equipment.
So is this where we can install all the equipment on like a unistrut rack and then just set a building over it? Or does it have to mount to the
Oh,
building?
no. We don't need a building. All we need is, again, mounted on a unistrut, and I
Okay.
believe the detail shows that. Yes, you can mount it on unistrut and just have I think it's a NEMA 4 cabinet that incorporates the analyzer and that piece of ancillary equipment it needs to operate.
So it sounds like we don't need to house it then, that the enclosures will be sufficient and,
That's correct. Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Sorry
like
about
that.
the confusion there. Yeah.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I think just one of those things we wanted to clarify, and if we need to do something different, then let's find it out.
You know, this might be a quick segue into something else I wanted to bring up. If you don't mind, I'll just take a minute or two. So at the end of the chlorine contact tank, the plans show a weir. It's just a rectangular weir. And that was put there just in case we needed to add some type of trimming, you might say, of the chlorine. And sure enough, it looks like because of the variations in flow now that we're going to expect and what the analyzer would require, we're going to add an ultrasonic device. And so it'll simply be installed over the weir that's part of the plans. And that, yeah, that will send a signal back through the PLC that's mounted at the effluent pump station. It's just an I/O thing. It's not that complicated. But anyways, that signal will be used to, lack of a better term, to trim the chlorine that's being injected.
Will the
So-
PNIDs be updated to reflect that by chance?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Darkcore is working on that right now. Again,
Perfect.
the only thing new here is it's probably going to be like a Hydro Ranger ultrasonic devices sitting over that weir. And
Easy enough.
yeah, okay. So that should be coming here in a few days.
Sounds like we're building a million.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it sounds a little more complicated than it is, but
That's a straightforward install, not a problem.
it is, yes.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay.
The next section, Sheila, hope you're listening. We have the communication building. I'm wondering if there's any update on that. It was ordered, as far as I know. Just looking on confirming when it'll get here.
Is she on?
I thought she was.
She said Sheila, if you're on, we can't hear you.
On hold.
I was gonna say if Sheila don't respond, I did reach out to Jeremy Bingham with the Bingham Containers. He hasn't reached out back to me. I wanted to set up a time with him. He's basically looking for a few details he was missing on door locations, things like that. And he said in order to give us a lead time, but then we provided him with the building drawings that initially started again, say, hey, these are the locations. Is there more detail that's needed? And I asked for to have a one-on-one meeting with him, and he didn't respond. So I will reach out to him today and see where that's at.
Brandon, when I did the lab connexes from Jeremy, he put it about a month turnaround, but he actually got them out in 3 weeks to us.
Did that have a bunch of comms cabinets in it?
Didn't have the comms
Okay.
cabinet in there, he sprayed the insides.
Okay.
And run all the electrical sub panels and the main panel.
It sounded like it was a pretty straightforward thing, so.
He's pretty quick.
This item will tie into change order line item when we touch on the change order log. But let's take off late July and just put TBD.
Fast zone tanks and a few more ancillary items. I guess we have late September for a lot of those. I don't know if you have an updated sheet or not. Sheila, Brandon, Gustavo, no.
I keep looking at Cam. I'm not sure. Like,
He's pretty useful. Like, since I'm so handsome. Just tell him it'll be here tomorrow.
We have the ADOH permitting. Just looking to get some kind of update on that, Brandon. I believe you can answer that.
I do have something actually. So we had a meeting last week with the upper management of ADOH, and I did get their feet held to the fire on. They're going to allow both the installation submittal and the reconstruct at once. So we did submit that. So that means they're working on both of those simultaneously. So and they couldn't commit to say it would be done on X date, but they did say they are expediting that review. So that's good that we're not going to be looking at a 4 to 6 month review. I know we're probably looking in the next month to 2 months. I don't have an exact date, but that's good news in general.
so do we want to keep the current start dates, setting modular buildings where they're at, or do we need to make an adjustment based on the new information?
I would
Oh yeah, I left that part out. It'd be nice, huh? It's like the approval of what?
Okay. So once we get that, the building so propane up back to do their final connections.
It's probably worth maybe talking with Craig that we would, like Chad said, do our first fill and final commissioning once the whole thing's all bolted together and the building is set and determinations are made. There was some slight modifications to the original planning of that, because I know they'll want to come
Wow. So that's something wrong. So the HTTP is not supposed to be under dirt? Or
So-
No, that's
Rico,
what they're advertising. They're even advertising it in high temperature situations. So
Very
it's,
guys,
but
Rico,
so
you know more. Bring this offline. We don't need to talk about it. We talk about it so much. Like,
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was just curious about the product. Just this.
just a faulty product. They need to refund it. If they don't, we got to take whatever steps you and Brian want to take.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Next item, control cabinet. We touched on that earlier. That is for the influent, the one that was furnished as noted. It has a 10-week lead time, so it's going to bleed in late October. Document control.
Okay, search tank shop drawings are done, so that's really nice.
Hallelujah.
I know, that
Middle
can come
45.
off. Let's see, so we're still waiting on response for the potable water booster pump technical data. Are there any issues with that? So
We got that one. We got that one back. And I sent it out to our vendor. So we're waiting on the vendor to get it back.
Wait, you mean we got a response to like revising?
Yeah, that was the control panel.
So we just need to update the notes.
Oh, okay, so let me put the note to myself here, revise and submit. I don't know how that can go.
And make sure that that's, the action is with
Okay,
us.
yep, I'll go check on that. All right, what about the effluent pump technical data?
The
That-
same thing. We got that today.
Oh,
So we're
I didn't,
That's-
I didn't email it to
or
you.
a-
You didn't miss it.
Oh, okay, so is that a revise and resubmit
Yes.
as well? All right. Good to know.
I love all the
Okay.
completes.
What about, let's see, okay, so the next one is done.
Yes,
Sorry.
Thank you.
Getting my notes updated here. Okay, so we got the NCR all signed off and issued as Rev N, so that one comes off. Then the influent lift station new control panel technical data, that also is done, Rev N. Propane skid assembly.
That's with us.
That's with Ames? It's
That,
back with
that's
Ames?
the
a revised and resubmit?
we
No, that's an approved as noted.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so that should be.
That goes back
closed
to
out.
the Ames supply of the propane skid.
Okay.
So that's
So
been
that one
approved
can
for release
go.
for fabrication.
All right, so I'll get that one. I'll go look and see what we have there. Oh, I should mark this next one as complete. The propane shade structure footings and low concrete brick. Yeah, that's all signed off on and done.
Good.
So that's, let me highlight all that text so I can update it. And then chip seal classifications. So that was reissued after we addressed the comments. I don't know if there's any preliminary feedback yet on that one. It's pretty fresh. Did you CC me?
Should. No, maybe.
On the chip seal?
Nothing to comment on that.
Hashtag left out.
Yeah, so I can't track it because I don't know what it is.
That might have been the one where,
I'll make
was
sure
that the
you
one of them got issued, but the attachment was missing, and so then
No, that's not it. That
That's
was
a different one?
95.
Okay. We have 95 on.
95
That
was
was an
the
R5.
fiber.
Oh, well, that was an R5, okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, you guys are good,
No.
okay.
Oh.
Then, number 91, pressure sustaining valve. That was just issued on the 6th, so it's not quite due, but that one's out there. And then the last thing is that lifting plan that we talked about this morning, or that happened for the lift this morning, so that's completely done. That was just issued for information. Okay, RFIs, so 97 total, 5 are open. The one that's outstanding is number 90, influent bottom of tank and top of slab elevation.
So we talked about that one. I believe that can be closed out now with all email correspondence that we have. I'll make sure you have that too.
I was trying to wonder if we're having a syncing issue, because I think I remember closing this today and updating it. So I will get in and see what.
Little housekeeping, that's okay.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No, no, no,
It's
it's all right.
nothing's not syncing right, but okay, yeah, because I remember that from today. Okay. And then we did complete, oh no, this is the one I updated, was the water utility testing pressure, because that was another one that we got additional info on, right?
Correct.
So our concerns were addressed and we closed that one. Northgard Technology Conduit System discrepancy, that's due, not quite yet.
Submitted those recently.
Submitted
Monday, so we
Yeah, so out of
Till
these
next
new,
Monday.
right, out of these new ones, Chad, what are high priority? And I've included the 96 and 97 that went out right before the meeting.
I would say the guard check and the fiber limits. Those two are the biggest.
Guard check
There will be a lot of work with
and
those
fiber limits. Okay, so I'll highlight those as like the higher priority ones for Entelis. And then as far as recently received data, I have not seen more electrical or concrete updates yet. Is that correct? Or have those gone to FMI? Because I showed we were expecting to get some of that.
I'll look into that.
Okay, and then that's it.
So, document control, we have, I don't believe any. Oh, Blue Stake and Environmental. Gustavo, did you send those poll locations, or do we have those poll locations from TIC? We
Yeah,
were just
we
supposed
have
to
all
check
that
with our
data.
survey, and we've sent that to our survey since.
We have all the data for that, and we're gonna start walking that out with Kiewit
Okay.
today.
Good for it. Good to know. QAQC, Andre, do you have anything on here? It's just kind of the NCRs that we've already
They're all
talked
closed.
about. Yeah.
Waiting for my signature.
Archie signed those.
Yep.
Who did I give those to?
Is it Archie?
I think I gave it back to Coke, but yeah, he signed them.
Oh, the NCRs? Yeah,
Yeah.
those are done. Yep, those are all rev in.
Commissioning, Pete, do you have anything on that?
No, I think, Gustavo, that's something you and I'll just keep working on. I know there is some potentially commissioning some new documents that we might be using.
Now we have a construction commissioning guy, so he's gonna
Got
take
Rob.
Mm.
You should have ended this meeting.
Yeah.
Got Rob here.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
It's not my call.
No,
he's
yeah,
right on my side, but
we would want to, at least kick off with battery limits of RASI matrix, because there are things that we can only get to mechanical completion. We can't get to fully commissioned. We can fall in the support role, but we can't be responsible for the pre-com side of some of this. So
if he's over there when I go back, I'll bring him over and introduce
could you?
him.
That'd be fantastic. And then we could schedule a time that. Are you no longer involved at all?
To be decided.
Is there any way that we can influence this? We would,
I'd love to have you all.
yeah, if Ames has any say, we would love to continue having Gustavo involved at least.
Well, I think he will be.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay, we can take it offline. Okay, yeah, nothing more information in there, Chad. Maybe just quickly jump to the change order log.
Yep, commercial change order log.
So, I think Paul had asked a good question. Because I can't see that well. So, of the rough order of magnitude estimate for what we've been calling balance of plant, what is part of that and what is not? And so I wanted to break that out so it's pretty clear that, you know, we were contemplating these things at that time. Since then, there have been additional things added. Propane maintenance building, first flush basins, and the transformer containments that were not part of the balance of plant. So we have 2 of those BOP original scope items submitted. Propane maintenance building submitted. First flush basins have been approved. And the transformer containments will have that, I think, like we talked about, to you tomorrow.
The propane building's approved too. It's for this route.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's just note it here that that's, if we can
It's
get
approved by me.
can we just get a simple email like we're good to go and then we can start. We can start getting after this.
You got $1?
I have 20 and a steak dinner. Does that make sense? Because I know there were a lot of moving parts. We want to make sure we're, you know, articulating this as clearly as we could. Any questions on the call or?
Peter, just one doubt. Change order 15. You sent revision 3, right?
Sorry, Federico. Which scope would it be? What was the?
Change order 15. The D scope actually. It's
Oh, the D scope.
yeah.
Brian and I and Nicolette had a good conversation about that. We have to add some clarifications to that, which I'll have out today. He had some fair questions, and that would be issued in conjunction with the budget true-up change order that they'd have to go through at the same time. So I don't know if you're calling that change order 15 and 16 or.
Yeah, it's 15, 16. They are together.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Change order 16 won't change. It's just some of the descriptive language in change order 15 that I'm going to revise.
Okay, so it's an action from you, not from us.
Yes, it is. No, it's an action from me specifically, yes.
Okay.
We'll get that back to you today.
All right. Thank you, Peter.
Of course, sir.
Anyone have anything else?
Oh, fire hydrants.
Oh, yeah. Is VJ on?
I know that's your favorite.
Use those right now.
Yeah.
I'm here, but maybe we can take it offline.
No pun intended, huh?
Hey, I saw your email. We'll get together after this meeting. Go through it.
Sure.
What's the problem?
Backup, just
Yeah.
from what was bought, what's getting returned. We've got all the backup. They just wanted to see it. No problem.
I can just,
We just forget about that.
It's cheap. Look it up compared to anything else. Don't worry about it.
love that.
In relativity. So
It did go
that's all I
down.
have. You good?
That was like 130 or something, wasn't it?
Told you to go down a little bit. Okay, well, I'll call it, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.